What are we talking about today? What instigated this lesson? She said, do you make tea? And I said, she should say, are you making tea?
Okay.
Why? What's the difference?
I don't know.
Making this process.
Yes.
No.
We have two tenses that are sometimes interchangeable, but sometimes not. And they can be applied in the present, two for the present, two for the past, and two for the future. One is just the simple present, simple past, simple future. It's very easy. Do you play guitar? I don't know why I always use that example.
Because you know how to play guitar.
Yeah. And just think of the first thing, like cats, guitar, Star Wars. It's just always the same, like 3 or 4 things floating around in my head. Sex. We talk about sex way too much, even things that have nothing to do with sex. It's just an easy example to give. Okay. Do you play guitar? Simple present. Mm-hmm. You understand that question, right? Simple past would be, did you play guitar?
Yes.
Right? That's the question version. Future will be, will you play guitar? Right?
Uh-huh.
Those are all the question versions. The affirmative, the statement, would just be, I play guitar. I played guitar in the past, yesterday. Today I play guitar. Yesterday I played guitar. And tomorrow, future,
I will play guitar.
Yes, that's why it's confusing in English, because for the past we add d to the end, and for the future we add the word will before the verb. So it's strange, right? But it's easy to remember. The future is always just will. Do you play guitar? Yes, I play guitar. Yesterday, did you play guitar?
Uh-huh.
Answer.
Yes, I did.
Say yes, I played. That is a correct answer, but I'm trying to show you to conjugate
Yes,
verbs. Yes.
Yes,
I played guitar. And future, tomorrow, will you play guitar?
Yes, tomorrow I no.
I will play guitar.
I will play.
Yes, I will play guitar. The verb is play, not be. Okay? Those are the simple tenses. They're the most common ones you'll hear. They're very easy, and they usually mean in a general sense. Or they're talking about like a specific event, like yesterday I played guitar at a concert, right? We talked about this before in a discussion about the future tenses, the difference between I went to America and I have been to America, right? One is talking about an event. I went there yesterday. I went there last year. I went there when I was 7 years old, versus I have been there. It's talking about a range of time, maybe your whole life, right? Okay? So those are the simple tenses. Now, something very similar but also distinct is the active or continuous tense. And it's very easy to recognize because it always uses ing, ing at the end of the verb.
Yes. Like what? For example, about guitar.
And it combines with the verb be. I am, you are, he is, or for the future, will be something. So instead of I play guitar in the simple tense, in the active tense it becomes I am playing guitar.
What? One more time?
Instead of I play guitar, it's I am playing guitar.
Okay, I am playing guitar is like right now.
It's an active process.
Mm-hmm.
That could still be interpreted a few different ways, which we'll get to, but for now just think of it as an active process.
Mm-hmm.
I am playing guitar. It's always conjugated that way. You need the version of the verb be, which is either will be, am, is, or are, and then the verb ing. So, when she asked you, do you make tea? Most likely that means in a general sense. Like, is that something you often do? Is that something you like to do, to make tea? No different than do you play guitar? Do you sing? Do you do exercise? Do you run? Do you jump? Do you read books?
What is your routine?
Yeah, like a hobby, a habit, right? Do you study medicine? Anything, right? It probably doesn't mean right now as an active process, right? But in the context she was asking, she saw you opening the tea bag, preparing the hot water, right? An active process. That's what she meant. She wanted to know, right now, are you in the process of making tea? Not in general, do you, right? So she should have said, are you making tea? As the question, and your answer would be, yes, I am making tea.
Are you making tea?
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have do you making tea?
No, you do not combine do with ing. It's always be, not do. Be is conjugated as am, is, and are.
So
It's like think of it as like a state you're in, because usually we use be to describe yourself as a noun or an adjective, right? I am a man. I am American. I am very ugly, right? All of those are states that I'm in, that apply to me, right? So when we use the active version of a verb, it's like a state I'm in. I'm in the state of doing something.
what is a state?
A description that applies to me. Quality that applies to me, right?
Yeah.
That's why we use am instead of do. It's like we're making the verb sound more like a quality, an adjective almost. So if you can say, I am hungry, that's a state, a quality that applies to you, right? You can see that.
I am a hungry.
I am hungry, right? So if I say, I am playing, what does that mean?
I am playing in now. Right now, there is a guitar or an
it's like the
instrument.
quality of playing, the active action applies to me.
But I am hungry also. Oh, you mean all is adjective now?
No, well, it's still a verb. It just kind of sounds like an adjective. The way we're talking about it as though it's an adjective. That's why we use be instead of do. Because do is for verbs, right?
Yes. And be?
Be is usually for qualities, which can be nouns or adjectives. I have the quality of being a man. I have the quality of being American. I have the quality of playing right now. It's like it's an active process that's happening with me. Do you see what I mean? It's a subtle cognitive difference, but it explains why we conjugate them differently. So, if I ask you, are you playing guitar? What's your answer?
Yes, I am playing guitar.
Right, or the contraction, I'm playing guitar. Right?
But I cannot say yes, I do.
No. If I ask, do you play guitar? Then you can. Or you can just say, yes, I am. To keep it shorter. But for now, say the whole thing to practice the grammar.
Yes, I am playing guitar.
So that's the active present continuous. I always forget that there is a subtle difference between active and continuous. I always forget them. Doesn't matter right now. We'll just call it the present, the active present, or the present continuous. I've written a book about this and I still forget the names of them. So it doesn't matter. If I can forget them, you can forget them too. I give you permission to forget them. Are you forgetting them? Yes, I am forgetting them. Do you forget them? Yes, often I do. The past continuous, you just use the past version of be. Was and were.
Mm-hmm.
Were you playing guitar yesterday?
So, can I not mention when, where you play guitar and not say yesterday or...
No, I'm just saying yesterday because to emphasize that it's the past.
Uh-huh.
If I say today, just for the purpose of this exercise, if I say today, I mean the present, even though I still could be talking about the past, like this morning is today, but it's still the past because it's afternoon already, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like today I was playing guitar in the morning, but now I'm not. So it's an oversimplification, but just for the sake of the exercise, if I say today, I mean the present. If I say yesterday, I mean the past. If I say tomorrow, I mean the future. Okay, it's just simpler that way, right? So, yesterday, were you playing guitar?
Yes, I was.
Yes, good. Was. I was, you were, he was, we were, they were. So everything else stays the same. I, something, playing guitar. Right? You still have the ing, but now the be is in the past. Yesterday, I was playing guitar at a concert.
Okay.
So obviously that doesn't mean I'm doing it right now. That's different than, are you playing guitar right now? Like, do you have it in your hands at this moment? So because it's not right now. We're talking about something that happened yesterday. We're talking about a concert yesterday, right? I was playing guitar at a concert yesterday. Why am I speaking in the active tense there? Why am I not just saying I played guitar at a concert yesterday? Is there any difference at all?
Can you say both?
I can say I played guitar at a concert yesterday, and I can say I was playing guitar at a concert yesterday.
I don't know what is the difference.
What the difference is.
What the
I
difference?
want to know what the difference is, and I want you to tell me.
So, I was playing guitar yesterday. It means like yesterday it was a guitar in your hand in a concert or in the room or whenever. And you were playing guitar. But I played guitar yesterday. What does it mean? What does
It means there was an event that involved me playing guitar. Same thing as I went to America when I was 7. An event happened.
I played guitar. So, what is the difference between did you play guitar yesterday and were you playing guitar yesterday?
So, in this context, there's very little practical difference. Sometimes there's very little difference, and you can use either one. Just like the examples I gave of sometimes you can use the perfect tense and sometimes you can use the simple tense. Did you eat? Have you eaten? The context makes it very clear what I'm talking about there. If I say, have you eaten, when I see you for the first time in the morning, it's extremely unlikely that I'm asking, have you ever eaten anything in your entire life? Because that's a stupid question.
Yeah.
It's very clear. I just mean like that day since you woke up, breakfast, right? Which is functionally the same as did you eat breakfast today, right? So similar thing here. Using the ing active tense still emphasizes it as an active process, right? Versus the simple tense, I played guitar, just means an event happened, right? And if that's all you say, it really makes very little difference. But maybe you'll continue to say things after that where it can make a difference. Like, I was playing guitar all night last night when suddenly I fainted from exhaustion. Now that's different. I'm describing a more dynamic relationship with time now. It's more complex. I was playing guitar all night last night when suddenly I fainted. What is fainting? Passing out from exhaustion, being very, very tired. I'm describing a more interesting series of events now. Something actively happening, like I'm trying to make you feel like you're there. It's happening right now. I'm describing something that happened last night, but I'm describing it like it's happening right now. I'm playing guitar all night, like this ongoing active thing. And then this other thing happens. Or happened. See?
So it's like saying the story.
Yes. So I could try to communicate the same information with just the simple tense. I could say, I played guitar all night, and then I passed out from exhaustion. And that still does communicate the same basic information, right? There's still a series of events. You understand what happened, but it's not as descriptive. It doesn't emphasize the same things.
Can you say it again?
I played guitar all night, and then I passed out from exhaustion.
Ah, yeah. Like it's not like a story that you're saying.
It's very neutral now. It's very detached, right? It almost doesn't, it's not like I'm describing it as something actually happening to me, a personal experience.
Yeah, it's like you are saying something that we should know.
Yeah.
I played guitar
And even the connection between the two isn't as clear. Like, did I pass out from exhaustion because of the guitar playing, or are they just two unrelated events? If I say I was playing guitar when I passed out, then it implies, oh, like this interrupted something else. Like there's probably a connection. Like I was so tired from playing so much, this happened at the same time. Like, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So there are subtle differences now because we're getting a bit more dynamic, a bit more complex with how we describe things. That's the difference between functional communication and good communication. Even with basic conversational English, where you only know the simple tenses, you could communicate the same information, but it won't be quite as clear and specific and interesting and detailed, right?
Yeah. Now with this I understood what do you mean. So, can you say one more example?
Future now. What is the future active tense? How would you use ing in the future?
I will playing.
Nope. You need the be verb.
Yeah. I will. No, I will be playing.
Yes, will be.
Yeah.
Good. We don't conjugate the be. We just leave it as be. Future tenses are always the simplest.
Yeah, I
Right.
will be playing.
I will be playing guitar tomorrow. I will be playing guitar tomorrow at a concert. And the simple would just be, I will play guitar tomorrow at a concert. Again, in that context, if that's all I'm saying, then they mean basically the same thing, right?
So, which one? Tomorrow, you can see me that I will be playing guitar. Or tomorrow, you can see me that I will play guitar.
The way you use that is incorrect. You will see that I'm playing guitar, or you can come see me play guitar tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that would be simple. You can come see me play guitar. You can come see me playing guitar. Be active. Or like, I will be playing guitar all night tomorrow, so I'm not sure if I will have time to do something. So I will probably be pretty tired after a whole night of playing.
Girl left.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes. Nice. So,
I guarantee you none of your foreign English teachers in school understood these subtle differences.
I didn't know that actually.
Yeah, that's why they didn't explain it to you, because they didn't know it either.
They probably didn't know it. They are not mean. They are.
I think the cat has a bird. Yep.
A bird or a
Or a mouse. What is it?
I think it's no bird.
Mook kam terchun. Terchun. It's a bird. Okay, well, let him enjoy it. He earned it.
Yeah.
He is killing the bird right now. He also kills birds often. Generally, it's a hobby of his to kill birds, but right now he is killing one.
Mm-hmm. So we should say he killed.
Well, It's not dead yet. It's not over. He's doing it right now. So when it's over, then you can say he killed a bird.
He is killing. No, he was killing a bird, and now still he is. Now I hear the bones.
Yeah, he is crunching the bird's bones right now. Well, at least it was probably a quick death.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We were teaching an English class at the same time he was killing a bird. Two active things happening simultaneously.
Yes.
Okay, so there are still slightly more nuanced ways you can use this. Like, what if I say, I'm reading a lot of books about Thomas Paine right now.
One more time.
I'm reading a lot of interesting books about Thomas Paine right now. What do I mean if I say that?
Like you are in this process,
Yes.
like you never stop it.
Right.
You don't want to stop it now.
The book is not in my hands at the moment. So that's different than I am reading right now. Like this is the activity occupying my time right now. I'm talking, it's kind of a combination of it in a general sense and in an active process. Like maybe when I'm done with this video, I will go pick up the book, right? And I will continue reading. It just means like something actively taking a lot of time in my life right now, and it will end at some point. It will cease to be an active process. But right now, I'm actively engaged in this process.
Can you repeat again? I'm
reading a lot of interesting books about Thomas Paine right now. So sometimes, I think this is where it gets really confusing for foreign learners, because sometimes it sounds like we're speaking in a really specific way, but actually it's still more general. And you just learn the difference through context and just culture, right? Because, well, for one thing, especially because I'm saying a lot of books, it's extremely unlikely that I'm reading more than one book at the same time. In like both books are in my hand and I'm looking at both, right? Because that, again, so context makes that obvious. That would be a ridiculous thing to say, right? Yeah. So even though I'm saying right now or at the same time, I don't literally mean right now or literally at the same time. I mean generally at the same time. Like as soon as I finish one, I'm going to go to the next one. Or maybe I read a chapter of one, then I read a chapter of the other, right? I could describe that as at the same time. Do you see what I mean? Even though it's not literally at the same time.
But what if you say, I read a few interesting books about Thomas Paine?
I read a few interesting books. So that's saying in general, you read a few. That sounds odd because it sounds like you're limiting how many you will read generally.
A few, like
if you were using the perfect tense, I have read a few interesting books, that would make more sense. Like at some point in the past up until now,
I have
read a few interesting books, but that implies it's done, right? Mm-hmm. If you say, I read books about Thomas Paine, generally, that's something I like to do. I read a lot of books about Thomas Paine makes more sense. If you say, I read a few books about Thomas Paine, it sounds odd because a few is just by definition like 3, right? Mm-hmm. So in general, I read 3 books about Thomas Paine. It sounds strange to limit something you generally do to just 3. Do you see what I mean? If you said a lot or some, that makes more sense if you're speaking in a general sense. Yeah, I read some books about Thomas Paine from time to time, you know?
But I want to understand that, is it true? If I hear that you say, I read some book about Thomas Paine, for me, it's like it was in the past mostly.
That's probably the perfect tense. I've read a book. I've read some books. I have read. So yes, that implies the past up until the present, right? It's talking about the time frame in which something happened.
So we don't say, I read book about Thomas Paine. It's like we can say what...
Well, you can say, I read books about Thomas Paine because, again, that's general, right? That's something I generally like to do. I probably have read some, and I probably will read some more at some point in the future. In the same way, if you say, I drink coffee, What are you communicating there? It's something you generally do maybe every day, maybe once a week, maybe multiple times a day. But the point is, in the past, yes, you've already done that, and you will probably continue to do it in a general sense in the future, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I drink coffee. Do you make tea? Yeah, I frequently make tea. Whenever I want a cup of tea, I make a cup of tea, right? Versus, are you making a cup of tea right now? Can you make one for me too?
Yes. So let me think about one more example. So my question about is like, do you read book about Thomas Paine?
So again, that sound, you can't just say book like that in a general sense.
Okay.
Even a book, like you should definitely use a as an article to denote a singular book, right? Do you read a book about Thomas Paine? Again, can work. It would mean that I read one book generally. Like from time to time, I pick up the same book and read it and then put it down and then read it again later. But that's an odd thing to do. Like just one book about Thomas Paine. If you're speaking in a general sense, it's much more likely you would mean more than one book about Thomas Paine, right?
Yes.
So that does work. It just is a very strange thing to say, which is true of a lot of things people try to say in English. It grammatically and semantically makes sense, but it's odd. Like, have you ever eaten? Makes perfect sense. I understand exactly what you're saying, but that's not a question anyone would ever realistically ask because everyone has eaten. You would not be alive if you have not eaten. Do you see what I mean? Yeah. And in the same way, it's be very strange behavior to generally read just one book over and over again many times.
So I should say, do you read books about Thomas?
Yes, if that's probably what you mean, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Books about Thomas Paine. And are you reading books about Thomas Paine? It means like maybe now or maybe in now in your life.
It could mean like lately, or if you know that I'm a very active reader, like I spend 4 hours a day reading, and so you're asking me about like what are you spending these 4 hours doing today or tomorrow, right?
And what is the difference between the third one is have you ever
read a book or books about Thomas Paine, right? Because that can now mean from the beginning of my life up until now, sometime in that time frame, the event happened. The event of me reading a book about Thomas Paine.
So have you ever read means like it was in the past and continuing until now.
Yeah.
Are you reading like right now and we don't care about the past? And do you read
general?
In general. Yeah. It's not clear like when exactly.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes. So you have been hearing people use these correctly your whole life. Every time you have spoken with a native English speaker, I guarantee you they've been using these correctly. They're very, very basic to native English speakers. But you never really paid attention. You didn't know there was a distinction, right? You just kind of simplified everything together and assumed they all meant basically the same thing. So now you need to start to pay attention to how you hear me and other native English speakers using them, because there is a difference, and sometimes it's an important difference. Sometimes it changes the meaning of what I'm saying.
Yes, actually. Yes. We never care because we just hear the word and we hear they are asking us.
Yes.
But we cannot realize or we don't care that what exactly they mean in general or actively right now.
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you.
This is why interpretation and translation can be so difficult. If you were going to try to translate a really dense and difficult and complicated book from one language to another, unless you understand both languages at a native, fluent, exceptional, scholarly level, there's a chance you're going to misinterpret things, right? Without intending to. You might not realize that something that seems the same to you actually means something subtly different. Hi, cat. Are you holding a cat? Have you ever held a cat? Do you hold cats? Hold.
그렇게.
Yeah. Dexter, be nice. Fuck off, Dexter.